As we grow older, we often find ourselves reflecting on the people who surround us. We have spent decades shaping relationships, building connections, and finding comfort in the company of others. However, there comes a point in life when we must recognize that not everyone is good for our peace of mind, especially as we enter our later years. In fact, some people can slowly chip away at our happiness without us even realizing it. But here's the truth: not all kindness is good for you. There are certain individuals you should never feel obligated to be kind to if you truly want to protect your peace and happiness in old age. While it might sound harsh, the reality is that we do not have the luxury of time to waste on draining, toxic relationships. In this video, we will dive deep into the 8 types of people you should carefully evaluate as you navigate life's later chapters. These are the individuals who can subtly sabotage your well-being, cause unnecessary stress, and prevent you from living a fulfilling, peaceful life. This is not just about avoiding negative energy. It is about actively choosing the right people who bring positivity, joy, and support into your world. I know this topic might feel uncomfortable, but it is one of the most important conversations we can have as we grow older. The choices you make today regarding who you spend your time with can significantly impact your mental and emotional health. Stay with me till the end, because what we discuss here may just shift your perspective on the relationships you keep in your later years. Aging is an inevitable part of life, but the way we experience those years is not set in stone. We all want to grow old with dignity, surrounded by people who love and care for us, and with a sense of peace that allows us to reflect on a life well lived. Yet, as we grow older, the dynamics of our relationships change. We may find ourselves reevaluating the people we keep close and how they impact our daily lives. The truth is, not every relationship is built to last, and as time passes, it becomes more important to protect our mental and emotional well-being. It is natural to want to be kind and compassionate to others, but sometimes we must recognize that there are individuals whose presence in our lives does more harm than good. This is especially true in our later years, when we may become more vulnerable to stress, negativity, and emotional strain. It is not just about avoiding toxic people for the sake of it. It is about understanding that our time, energy, and peace of mind are precious commodities that deserve careful attention. Research shows that the relationships we maintain can have a profound impact on our health. Studies have proven that social interactions can influence our immune system, our mental health, and even the quality of our sleep. On the flip side, unhealthy relationships can contribute to anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. This is why it is essential to be mindful of the people we allow into our lives, particularly as we age. But how do we recognize the people who can drain us, bring negativity, or hinder our well-being? It is not always as simple as it seems. Some of these individuals may have been a part of our lives for years, and letting go of them can feel like a daunting task. However, it is important to remember that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-care. When you make the conscious choice to distance yourself from harmful relationships, you are opening the door for healthier, more nurturing connections that can enhance the quality of your life. In the following sections, we will explore the 8 types of people you should be cautious about. Individuals who, if left unchecked, can slowly erode your happiness and well-being. By the end of this video, you will have a clearer understanding of how to recognize these relationships and, more importantly, how to protect your peace. Sign 1. People who disregard your boundaries. As we age, it becomes even more important to protect our boundaries. These are the lines we set to ensure our mental and emotional well-being. However, there are always people who seem to disregard these boundaries, whether knowingly or unknowingly. They may demand more of your time than you can give, invade your privacy, or push you into situations that make you uncomfortable. Take the example of Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson had a neighbor, Sarah, who would often drop by unannounced. While Mr. Thompson enjoyed her company in small doses, Sarah would show up at all hours of the day, often staying for hours without respecting his need for solitude or rest. Over time, Mr. Thompson became exhausted, both mentally and physically. He loved Sarah, but her disregard for his boundaries drained him. Studies show that maintaining healthy boundaries in relationships is crucial for preserving mental health, especially in older age. In fact, individuals who have trouble setting and maintaining boundaries are more likely to experience higher levels of stress, anxiety, and even chronic health conditions. The takeaway here is simple: protecting your personal space and time is not selfish. It is necessary for your well-being. Do not feel guilty for enforcing your boundaries, and remember that your peace is worth more than pleasing others. Sign 2: people who constantly criticize or judge. Criticism can be constructive, but constant judgment is a different matter altogether. People who never have a kind word to say or who regularly criticize your decisions, habits, or lifestyle can cause a great deal of emotional harm. As we age, we need to surround ourselves with those who lift us up, not bring us down. Consider Grandma Lily. Grandma Lily had a daughter, Mary, who always criticized her mother's eating habits. "You should eat more vegetables, Mom," she would say. "You should stop eating that snack. It's bad for your health." While Mary's intentions were good, her constant disapproval weighed on Grandma Lily's spirit. Over time, Grandma Lily found herself feeling more insecure and less confident about the choices she made. Research shows that constant negative feedback can affect the body's stress response, increasing levels of cortisol, the hormone associated with stress. This constant stress can contribute to a variety of health issues, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and even memory problems. The lesson here is that constructive advice is valuable, but when it turns into constant criticism, it becomes harmful. It is okay to distance yourself from people who focus on finding faults rather than offering support. You deserve to feel confident and loved, not judged. Sign 3: people who always demand your time and energy. As we grow older, our time becomes more precious. People who constantly demand your attention without ever considering your needs or limitations can drain you emotionally and physically. These individuals often have no regard for your well-being and see you as a source to fulfill their own needs. Mr. George, for example, had a cousin named Alan who would call him every day asking for advice or help with his personal issues. Alan would share his problems endlessly, never once asking how Mr. George was doing. Eventually, Mr. George found himself exhausted, feeling like he was constantly giving without receiving anything in return. Research on emotional energy and well-being suggests that one-sided relationships can lead to burnout, particularly in older adults. When you are continually giving without receiving support, your own mental and emotional health can begin to suffer. The takeaway: it is important to evaluate the balance in your relationships. Healthy relationships involve give and take. If someone is constantly taking without giving, it might be time to set clear boundaries and distance yourself from that dynamic. Sign 4: people who never listen to you. We all need someone who listens, someone who genuinely hears what we have to say. However, some people are so focused on their own thoughts and needs that they cannot offer the same attention in return. These are the individuals who interrupt you, disregard your feelings, or ignore your opinions entirely. Consider Mr. Henson, a retired teacher who had a friend named Bill. Bill would always dominate their conversations, speaking about his own life without ever asking Mr. Henson about his. Whenever Mr. Henson shared his thoughts, Bill would quickly change the subject. Over time, Mr. Henson began to feel invisible, and the friendship left him feeling emotionally drained. Research shows that having someone who actively listens can improve mental health and emotional resilience, especially in older adults. Being heard promotes a sense of belonging and self-worth, while being ignored can lead to feelings of isolation and depression. The lesson: surround yourself with people who truly listen and make space for your voice. A balanced relationship is one where both parties feel heard, valued, and respected. Sign 5: people who take advantage of your kindness. Some people will take advantage of your good nature without ever giving anything back. They will use your generosity for their own benefit, often without showing any appreciation. These individuals may even take you for granted, expecting you to always be available when they need help. Take the case of Mrs. Carter, a kind-hearted woman in her 70s who had a neighbor, Tom, always asking her for favors. He would ask her to run errands, help with his groceries, and even lend him money. Mrs. Carter never hesitated to help, but over time, she began to feel resentful. Tom never offered help in return, nor did he acknowledge her efforts. Studies show that when we allow people to take advantage of us, it can lead to feelings of bitterness, resentment, and even physical exhaustion. Being overly generous without boundaries can harm your emotional well-being and undermine your confidence. The takeaway? Generosity should not come at the cost of your own peace. It is important to set limits on what you are willing to give and ensure that kindness is mutual in your relationships. Sign 6. People who constantly focus on negativity. There are individuals who seem to see the world through a lens of negativity. They dwell on problems, complain endlessly, and always expect the worst to happen. Spending too much time with these individuals can erode your sense of hope and optimism. Mrs. Thompson, for instance, had a close friend named Carol who always focused on the negative. Whenever Mrs. Thompson shared good news, Carol would quickly find something wrong with it. "That's nice," Carol would say, "but what if something goes wrong?" Over time, Mrs. Thompson found herself feeling discouraged, even when life was good. Research shows that constant exposure to negative thinking can elevate stress levels and contribute to anxiety and depression. Positive thinking, on the other hand, can boost immune function, reduce stress, and improve overall quality of life. The lesson? It is essential to protect yourself from negativity. Surround yourself with people who inspire hope, encourage growth, and bring positivity into your life. Sign 7. People who are always competing with you. While friendly competition can be motivating, some people make everything a contest, constantly trying to outdo you or undermine your successes. These individuals do not celebrate your achievements. Instead, they view them as a challenge to their own sense of worth. Think of Mr. Edwards, who had a colleague, Ben, who could never be happy for his accomplishments. When Mr. Edwards received praise for his volunteer work, Ben would downplay it or try to make his own achievements seem superior. This constant one-upmanship made Mr. Edwards feel unappreciated and drained. Psychologists suggest that unhealthy competition can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and stress. When others focus on competing rather than collaborating or celebrating, it can diminish your self-esteem and joy. The takeaway: true relationships are about mutual support and celebration. Distance yourself from those who always see your successes as threats to their own self-worth. Sign 8. People who never respect your need for rest. In our later years, rest becomes more important than ever. However, there are people who constantly demand your time, expecting you to be available and active, even when your body or mind needs rest. These people may pressure you to join social events, help with tasks, or stay engaged even when you are physically or mentally exhausted. Mrs. Jenkins, a grandmother of 5, had a daughter who would regularly call her to help babysit her grandchildren, even when Mrs. Jenkins had already planned to rest. Though she loved her family, the constant demands for her time left her feeling depleted. Medical research shows that getting enough rest is crucial for maintaining both physical and mental health as we age. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to memory problems, weakened immune systems, and even increase the risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. The lesson? Rest is a vital form of self-care. It is essential to communicate your need for rest and to prioritize it over others' demands when necessary. Your well-being depends on it. By now, you may have started to recognize the kinds of people who can drain your energy, disrupt your peace, or even harm your mental and emotional well-being. It is not easy to face these truths, especially when some of these individuals have been a part of your life for a long time. However, acknowledging these relationships is the first step toward protecting your own happiness. I would love to know, how do you feel about what we have discussed so far? Do any of these signs resonate with you? Perhaps you recognize someone in your life who fits these patterns, or maybe you have experienced the impact of these types of relationships yourself. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Are there relationships that leave you feeling drained or unsupported? Are there boundaries you have struggled to set in the past? Understanding these patterns can be the key to improving your well-being and reclaiming your peace as you grow older. If you are still watching, comment "still strong" below. I would love to hear which signs surprised you the most, or if there is a personal experience you would like to share. Our strength comes not only from taking care of ourselves, but also from sharing our stories with one another. When we connect, we build a stronger, more supportive community, and we can all learn from each other's journeys. The reality is, no one wants to be constantly weighed down by toxic relationships, especially as they enter their later years. The people you allow into your life have the power to either help you flourish or hold you back. But by understanding these patterns and making intentional choices about who you allow in, you can create an environment where peace, happiness, and love can thrive. So I invite you to think deeply about this. How can you start setting boundaries or making changes in your relationships today that will improve your life tomorrow? What actions can you take to protect your peace and nurture the relationships that truly matter? Let us know your thoughts, and remember, the path to greater peace starts with the decisions we make today. Now, as we near the end of this video, I want to address a topic that touches the very core of our emotional well-being: regret. It is a powerful force, one that we all encounter in some form as we age. The longer we live, the more we begin to reflect on the choices we have made, the people we have loved, and the time we have spent. But there is one regret that many of us experience in our later years. A regret that has nothing to do with what we did, but with what we did not do, what we did not say, what we let slip away, or what we failed to protect. I want to share with you the story of Grandma Mary, a woman in her 80s who lived a full life. Grandma Mary had a daughter, Alice, who had moved far away many years ago, chasing her own dreams and building a family of her own. Over the years, Grandma Mary and Alice spoke less frequently. They still loved each other, but the distance grew, both physical and emotional. Grandma Mary, in her heart, knew that her time was running out. She began to feel an overwhelming sense of regret, not for the years they had spent apart, but for the words that were never said. On her deathbed, Grandma Mary looked at her daughter one final time and whispered, "I wish I had told you more often how much I loved you. I wish I had fought harder for our connection." It was too late. The moment had passed. The conversation they had both needed never came, and the regret was heavy on her heart. This is not an uncommon story. Many people, as they approach the end of their lives, realize that what they needed most was not more time, but more meaningful moments with the people they loved. In fact, studies show that people in their later years often regret not spending more time with family and friends, not expressing their emotions, and not taking the steps to repair fractured relationships. The takeaway here is simple but profound. The relationships you have are precious. Protect them. If there are words that need to be spoken, say them. If there are apologies to be made, make them. If there are bonds that need mending, do not wait. Time is finite, and we do not always have tomorrow to fix what we wish we had done today. This final point is not just about protecting your peace. It is about cherishing the moments you have and ensuring that when the time comes, you have no regrets about the relationships you held dear. As we reflect on the signs, lessons, and stories shared today, it becomes clear that life, particularly in our later years, is a journey filled with choices. These choices are not just about what we do, but about who we allow into our lives, how we set boundaries, and what we prioritize. The people who surround us, the relationships we nurture, and the emotional peace we protect are all critical to the quality of our days. In many ways, aging teaches us the importance of simplicity, the value of choosing peace over conflict, connection over isolation, and love over judgment. With every passing year, we learn that time is our most precious resource. We cannot afford to waste it on relationships that drain us, on obligations that do not serve us, or on feelings of regret that weigh us down. As we grow older, we also realize that it is never too late to make a change. Whether it is setting healthier boundaries with toxic people or reaching out to reconnect with a loved one, there is always an opportunity to act. It is not the number of years we have, but how we choose to spend those years that truly matters. When we look back at our lives, what will we remember? Will it be the people who brought us joy and peace? Will it be the moments we shared, the love we gave, and the strength we found in protecting our well-being? Or will it be the regrets of things left unsaid, of time lost to people who never valued our peace. The beauty of life lies not in avoiding mistakes, but in having the courage to correct them when we realize they need to be. Our days are not infinite, but our impact can be. We have the power to shape our relationships, our environment, and the way we live each day. Every decision we make to protect our peace and prioritize our happiness adds up. These small, intentional choices lead to a life well lived. So as you go forward, I encourage you to reflect on what truly matters. Who are the people who deserve a place in your life? How can you protect your peace, your happiness, and your well-being? Remember that it is never too late to create the life you want, one filled with love, respect, and the kind of relationships that nourish your soul. If this video has touched your heart and helped you see the importance of protecting your peace and prioritizing the relationships that truly matter, I invite you to take action today. Life is too short to let toxic relationships steal your joy, and it is never too late to set boundaries or reconnect with those you love. If you found value in this message, I ask that you share it with someone you care about. You never know who might be struggling with the same challenges. By sharing this video, you can help someone else take the steps needed to protect their own peace and happiness. And if you have not yet done so, please hit the like button to show your support. Every like helps us reach more people who may benefit from these insights. Also, consider leaving a comment below to share your thoughts, experiences, or reflections. What resonated most with you? How will you apply these lessons in your own life? Your voice matters, and it could inspire someone else who is watching. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe so you never miss a video that can support you on your journey. Our community is built on kindness, reflection, and mutual support. When you subscribe, you become part of that community, helping to spread wisdom, peace, and emotional well-being. Lastly, I want to remind you that the power to create a life filled with love, peace, and happiness is in your hands. Take one small step today, whether it is reaching out to someone you care about, setting a boundary, or simply taking a moment to reflect on your relationships. These small actions can lead to big changes. If this video has touched you in any way, pass it on. You never know who might need it today.